Hello, this is the OAuth verification video request. So we're trying to get this following app verified for a couple sensitive OAuth scopes. The application is the Fusion Tables Archiver. The URL is fusiontables-archive.withgoogle.com, which is a Google-owned domain. This is the landing page. If you can see that we visit it, this tool has two parts. It exports your Fusion tables and then it shows a visualization. In case you don't understand, Fusion tables are a Google product where you could store tabular information. Many users over the years have stored information that can be plotted on a map. The Wikipedia page indicates that Fusion tables has been around since 2009, so it's been around for 10 years, and it has a fair number of users. There's a help doc, a help FAQ, which talks a lot about Fusion tables. We talk a lot about the scopes and everything that it needs. So this is clearly a product that we've been putting some time and energy into. So this is, again, the product landing page. We talk about what it's about. Fusion tables will be shut down later this year. Once Fusion tables shuts down, users will not have any access to their data. They will lose access to that data. The archive tool has two parts. It copies the Fusion tables data into a sheet or a CSV file in Drive, and that data will live on forever. We call that copy the archive, and then we also let the user create a map visualization from that archive. To show you this is my Drive account. Let me actually filter on tables. You can see that I have 4 Fusion tables in this test account. When I go to the tool, I need to obviously be able to read those Fusion tables. So we list the 3 OAuth scopes we need. We need to be able to read Fusion tables. We need to be able to get the listing of the tables that we have. Namely, we have 4 Fusion tables that are owned by me. And then I need to be able to actually create and write a sheet that contains the same data as the Fusion table. If I go to my Google Accounts page, I can look at security, and you can see the apps that have access right now. And right now, the Fusion Tables Archive tool does not have access, so I'm going to have to get access during this video. So let's get started. The standard sign-in button. We have a privacy and TOS links, a blog post, right? So we have links to everything like that. We start with the standard OAuth flow. We list the URL of the app, fusiontables-archive.withgoogle.com, and this is my test account for trying this all out. And you can see that when we start the flow, the client ID is clearly identified here in the client ID section right there. This is the OAuth client ID that our Google Cloud project uses. So it's not verified. We're trying to get rid of this. This is why the video is here. Go to there. We're going to have 3 scopes again. We need to be able to read Fusion tables. We want to copy that data out. We need to be able to ask Drive for a list of the Fusion tables that I own. So we need to be able to read the metadata. So this is view metadata only. We can't modify any metadata. And then we need to be able to manage files and create files that are a copy. So we need to be able to create a sheet or create a CSV file. And again, this is files and folders that we own, that we created. So we cannot read other sheets because we did not create that. So we get the standard consent page, and we move on. I'm now presented with a list of the 4 Fusion tables that were in my Drive, right? Say 4 Fusion tables, counties of US and California and things like that. I'm going to choose to export the Washington counties page. So at this point, I've used the Drive metadata read-only scope. I'm now going to use the Fusion tables read-only scope to read the data out of this, and I'm also going to use the drive.file scope to write a brand new sheet. Before we go on, we can see that there is a sheet that captures every time we run the tool. And in this case, we just simply append lines every time we run the tool. So here's a line right here saying this is the last line before we export. Fusion tables scope review. We're going to find that we're going to get couple new lines after line 121 when we run the tool. So let's run the tool, and the tool picks that one table, and it creates a brand new sheet, which we can find right here, and it creates map visualizations right there. And if we go to our sort of log sheet, this sheet captures every time we run the tool, we now have 2 new lines basically showing that we ran the tool, and that there were 2 different visualizations for the Washington Counties sheet. So I click here, I can see the new sheet that was created, and it's just essentially a list of all the Washington counties that was in the Fusion tables. It's now a sheet. If we look at the accounts, right, we can review the accounts that have third-party access. We now have a new type of app listed, right, the Fusion Tables Archive, and it shows that it has exactly those 3 sort of scopes. All right, so we now can go see the visualization. The visualization is itself a separate project. It just uses the drive.file scope, so it has run. And that pretty much is the tool.